Great morning. Fantastic, marvelous morning. Why? Because our Creator touched you and me with the gift of life and said, rise this day that you will never, ever, ever see again. Welcome to the Free from Recovery Emerge Empowered to Give Hope to Others conversation with Edwina B. That's me, y'all. Some of y'all call me Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, and that is great because my God accepts me just the way I am, and so do I. So, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the preparation of our topic today because what you need to do is to go back to January the 1st on YouTube, on Instagram, and other platforms that I have been podcasting from. And so, Free to Hope, we are here. I am here. When I say we are here, because I can't do this without you. And I'm hoping you can learn something from me. And so, with the process of the question that we've been talking about, beginning with 2024, a new day, a new year, a new moment, a new hour, and guess what? A new minute, and even more, a new present. We are presently together. So that means there must be something at this moment that I can learn from you and you can learn from me so that we can go to the next phase of our lives in this day that the Lord, my God, has given us to be of service in one way, shape, form, or fashion. So you're going to be hearing more about my platforms to share with you our major topic of are you tired of being broke? Are you tired of being broken? Do you know what those words really mean? Not from a humanistic point of view, but from a spiritual point of view. There's a difference. And the various platforms that I will be talking to you from will address those questions. So, getting back to the Free to Hope platforms that I will be sharing my experience, my strength, and my hope. And that may be right now. You may need a transformational speaker. You may need a spiritual coach. You may need a spiritual consultant. Well, look no further. Here I am. Why? Because my God, who I didn't know 34 years ago, delivered me, prepared me from underneath a parked car in the streets of Philadelphia at 3 o'clock in the morning as a prostitute, a crackhead, and an alcoholic, and all associated behaviors. Yes, underneath a parked car. You have to attend one of my platforms to know more about that story. But from that day on February the 22nd of 1990, I cried out these words, whoever they say you are, whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way. That's when I realized I was spiritually broken and spiritually broke. But I surrendered because he did not take me out this life. He put me on a pathway to recovery, and I haven't looked back since. As of February the 23rd of 2024, we will be celebrating 34 years in recovery. And guess what, y'all? That's the same age I was when I surrendered. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? So let's go back to the topic for my platforms. Are you tired of being broken and being broke? Do you even know that you're broken and you're broke? Do you know where it started? Do you know the foundation? Do you know where it came from? And more importantly, do you want to find spiritual wholeness and spiritual wealth? Do you? I know I do because I was tired of being broken and broke. So let's continue. My things that I'm going to share with you on my platforms are the resources that I use that are spiritual in nature. the Bible, of course, which is the oldest and the most popular book in the world. And as a result of the Bible, many religious sectors have different versions of it. And religion, I found, is a man made platform to share traditions and a way of life. But for me, I recognize that my brokenness began with not understanding the difference between spirituality and religion. There is a difference. And then as I continued on my journey, I was introduced to a 12-step spiritual program that offers spiritual principles to apply to all earthly matters on this journey called life. Yes, other spiritual tools that I use, I did after 15 years in recovery, identify a religion of my choice. Dr. Christopher Allen Bullock and my First Lady, Dr. Debbie Bullock at Canaan Baptist Church, right? And my spirituality was the foundation of me accepting what I can learn from my religious affiliation. Yep. And then came the 5 agreements. I said 4, but it's really 5 by the Uiz family. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make any assumptions. Always do your best. And the 5th one, be skeptical, but learn to listen. And the last one so far is Dr. Sonia of P3 University. Let me tell you, I'm about to embark on a 3-day boot camp with her, right? And we are going to learn more of how to turn our pain, how to turn our experiences, how to turn our brokenness into spiritual wholeness and spiritual wealth. See? I don't want to reinvent the wheel. She has her story. I have my story. You have your story. But wouldn't it be great to have a blueprint? And that's what she gave to me. And that's what I'm giving to you collectively with all of these spiritual tools. Yes. Okay. And so let's go on to my schedule for 2024. Right now, you are tuned into my daily podcast that I do from 6:30 to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. I do need to get some rest and to examine some more spiritual tools that I can give to you as well. And one of the other things that I want to let you know, when I am on share with somebody, hit that share button and say that crazy lady, Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, Edwina B is on. Tune in. And so the next platform that I will be addressing, I will have it tomorrow, is my first virtual presentation I'm going to have on a weekly basis. See, this right now is just a half hour. I'm planting the seeds of brokenness and being broke, learning and applying spiritual tools and resources. And I'm going to give you a little more of some watering and nurturing of that seed by presenting my virtual presentations on a weekly basis, once a week for about 1 hour. Once you tune into that and be a part of that, you're going to want more. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be thirsty and say, what else you got, Edwina? What else you got? You know why? Because I am being exposed and I am learning how to appreciate my brokenness and being broke. Yes, appreciate it. Why? Because without it, you would not be sitting here with me to learn how we can become spiritually whole and spiritually wealthy. Okay. And so that's going to be once a week. I will have my first one I believe the last Thursday in January, but I have the date as well as the link tomorrow. I promise. Then we're going to embark on a monthly masterclass. Yes. A masterclass is about 2 hours And because of the podcast you're getting for a half hour, the hour that you're getting for the virtual presentation, the master class is 2 hours because we're going to get down and dirty and really dig. But guess what? In 2 hours, you still can't cover everything. But I'm going to give you all that I have and share with you all the spiritual tools and resources that has helped me to this point in my spiritual journey here on life, applying all spiritual principles to all earthly matters, right? And then we're going to have a 3 to 5 day boot camp. Now, that means for 1 hour, 3 to 5 days a week, okay, we're going to engage. So it's not like 1, 2, 3, rise, shine, let's go. No, it's going to be every day, 3 days to 5 days consistently so that we can evaluate one particular area and connect the dots the other 2 days. And at the end of the third or the fifth day, we're going to culminate everything that we learned and put it into something that you can use on a daily basis. So you see, yes, this is a process. Our brokenness and being broke did not happen overnight. It's a process, okay? So I'm going to be giving you my schedule for those platforms, and I'm looking to be invited to your organization, to your summit, to your workshops, to your conferences as a transformational speaker, a coach, a consultant, whatever way, form or fashion, you can utilize my experience, my strength, and my hope. I am available, all right? So now let's go to our part 3 of our topic today, right? Okay. So yesterday, let's start with fear. So yesterday, we began, last week we began whenever we have to do some type of assessment, some type of inventory. In my 12-step Alcoholics Anonymous spiritual program, the 4th step, it says, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, right? And so what I didn't share with you that I will share with you now, the first 3 steps set the foundation to do the fearless and moral inventory. So with my disease of alcoholism that I was, in for over 14 years, but it started way before I picked up that first drink. The addictive behaviors. Yes. So the first step says we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. So I had to get in touch with my brokenness and what brought me to the point of going underneath a parked car to keep my stepson from hurting me. Yes, dogs and cats get underneath cars, but at the age of 34, after a 14-year addiction, with crack cocaine, alcohol, other drugs, prostitution, and the whole lifestyle underneath a parked car. So yes, as a result of me being powerless over those things, they made my life unmanageable to the point where even after committing suicide, I wanted this God that I didn't know to take me out this life or show me a better way. So that first step helps us get in touch with our brokenness and how our brokenness and being broke continues to make our lives unmanageable. Step number 2 says, came to believe that a powers greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Restore us to sanity doesn't say I am crazy, right? It doesn't say that, doesn't mean that, because sanity is soundness of mind. So step 2 says, came to believe. Like you are hearing me right now, you are beginning to believe that yes, I am broken. And yes, I am broke. Yes, you're making me see some things that I didn't even thought was possible. What? Yeah. So step 2, came to believe that a power greater than us could restore us to soundness of mind. And step 3 says, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand him. Listen, I don't know your God, you don't know my God, but it's a God of our understanding, And so when we make that decision, when I made that decision that I had enough, I'm done. But as much as I wanted to make that decision to stop, I couldn't stop. So my God, who I didn't know, had to make the decision for me. Take me out or show me a better way. Yes, that was my knee-bowing experience. And when it comes to brokenness and being broke, you have to get to a point where I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Edwina, what's wrong with you? People would say, Edwina, what's wrong with you? My kids would say, Edwina, Mommy, what's wrong with you? But Dr. Alvin Turner helped change that question around and said, Edwina, they should be asking, what happened to you? What happened to you, Edwina? That created your brokenness, that created your being broke. What happened? And so when I look at step 3, made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him, even just like the size of a mustard seed. I had a made up mind. That was my knee-bowing experience to find out what happened to me. And therefore I was placed on a pathway to spiritual recovery. The student became ready and the teacher appeared. I no longer wanted to be humiliated with the rapes, the beat-ups, the setups, right? Wearing all the masks. Oh, yes. So that's what we're going to continue today on part 3, the different masks that have created and contributed to our brokenness and being broke. Yes. Okay. And so with step 3, now we go to step 4. Made a searching and fearless more inventory of ourselves. And so if you're like me, one of the greatest character defects as a human being is fear. Yes. Fear is the foundation of all of our character defects, according to the spiritual tools and resources that I have read, heard about, but more importantly, have experienced. See, I understand about you saying this and you saying that, but guess what? Experience is the best teacher. My experience is my best teacher. Yes. So I need to be willing to face everything and recover. Fear, the acronym, face everything and recover. Face everything and be restored. Face everything and rejuvenate. Face everything, what? And recuperate. Instead of F everything and run. Yes. We are so used to running. I say we because this is a we thing. We're in it together. Our brokenness and being broke. We. So together we can walk through the fear. Face everything, and recover. Be set free from recovery, emerge empowered to do what? To give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Okay? So that's what we're going to do with step 4. So let's go here with part 3 of the mask. Now, I had to be willing to go back as far as I can and could remember. And that went back as far as maybe 4 years old. So when I was instructed to do when it was suggested that I do my inventory, that I go all the way back as far as I can remember as a child in my family, of 5 siblings and 2 parents. Yes. So when I did my fearless and thorough moral inventory, I went back there. And so in the 12-step spiritual program, there are what they call guidelines so that we can be able to say, well, why, uh, what was my first addiction? What was I addicted to? Attention. I was addicted to attention. Well, how, Edwina, how was you addicted to attention? I wanted my dad's attention and affection all to myself. I did not want to share my daddy with anybody, not even my mother. My whole essence at that time was getting the attention of my daddy. Yes, I worshiped the ground my dad walked on. Yes. So I learned that I was addicted to attention. And guess what? Doing my inventory, I also found out that my addiction for attention started with me imitating my mother. Yes. Watching how she moved, watching how she talked, watching what she did to get my daddy's attention. So I began to put on that mask of promiscuity, right? Of seduction, of lust, right? I didn't know what all that meant. I was just imitating what my mom did because guess what? My dad paid her some attention. Yes. So when I look at the mask, right, that I began to put on, my first models were my parents. So I had an addiction, right, to attention that I wanted from my daddy. And it's amazing how when you do your inventory, you can see how it perpetuated throughout my entire life, even to some degree presently. Oh, yes. I'm in denial. I am transparent and authentic as I possibly can be. Yes. And so when we talk about the mask, that's why when we have these virtual presentations and the master classes and the boot camps, yes, we're going to dig deep into all of the masks that we are wearing. Where did they come from? Where did it start? Addicted to attention, yes. I remember my mom used to have selling parties, right? Where they played cards and sold chicken and chitlins and liquor and all that kind of stuff, right? And I believe at the age of 5, right? Being in an environment where drinking was all around me, right? Not a whole lot in my house, but when I went to my aunt's house, my Aunt Margaret and Aunt Elsie and Fonnie and all them, drinking, smoking. Yes. And I began to see the various behaviors of all these people, right? Not knowing the source was the influence and the effect of drinking. Yes. So at 5 years old, I remember my mom had a selling party and I was peeping and watching and everything, right? And so I got underneath the table, and when somebody turned their head or they went dancing or something, I would go on the table and pull down the cup and drink it. Right? I would go down to the next seat, grab the cup and drink it. So by the time I got to the end of the table, I got from that table and I stood up, and all I remember was dancing and singing and, not knowing that what I had drank caused the behavior. But all I remember, y'all, this is the hit of the perpetuation of being addicted to attention, wearing the mask. As I started dancing and singing, all I remember are those adults surrounding me and saying, "Oh, look at her. Isn't she cute?" Oh, yes, I'm cute. Yes, yes, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. So when I revisit that situation and I evaluated, analyzed it, yes, I was still addicted to attention. And I wore the various masks that was needed, unknowing to me, to get the attention of others. Mm-hmm. So you see how our virtual presentations and my master classes and my boot camps, we are going to listen. We're going to do some surgery on us. Yes. I would also watch my auntie, my Aunt Margaret. My mom didn't do it as much, but my Aunt Margaret, I spent a lot of time with her, right? She was single, she was a barmaid, she worked for herself and she was independent, but every day she would go in her closet and pull out a wig. And one day it was black, one day it was red, one day it was this and that. And then I would watch her. What? Yes. And I'm sitting there in amazement, like, wow, I want to be just like her when I get older. But I didn't wait. As soon as she left, I would go in her room and start putting on the makeup, start trying on the wigs. Yes. Putting on the mask. So you see, when y'all come to me and we are in this thing together, listen, you want transparency and authenticity, you came to the right person. Trust me, you came to the right person. And so when we do that fearless and more inventory, we will examine where it all started, how, by whom, what situation, what circumstances, because it's going to be information that we can use to identify not what's wrong with us, but what happened to us. So I recognize that my first addiction was seeking attention. What about you? Can you relate? I don't know. But guess what? Come to my classes, come to my workshops, come to my presentations. By the time we get through with each other, you're going to say, wow. Yes. For the purpose of being set free from recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. So I don't wear makeup anymore, and I'm 68 years old. I had stopped several times, but then when I do my podcasts and my presentations, I'll put the wig on, I'll put the makeup on and all that, just to show you that I am presenting to you something that's not real. But when the spirit hits me and that authenticity and transparency comes out, I snatch off that wig, I'll wipe off the makeup, and I'll even take out these dentures and say how you like me now. I'm no longer afraid to accept myself as I am. I don't need the makeup. I don't even want the makeup. I use chapstick. Right? But do you understand where I'm getting from? That was a process to get to that point. If I went back as far as I could remember at 5, and I'm 68 years old now, and I've been in recovery down there 34 years, it doesn't happen overnight. Why? Because it didn't happen overnight. But somewhere, somehow, the seed must be planted. The foundation must be set. And then we can build upon it. All right? So I want you to look forward to my upcoming presentations, virtual. I will have the link and the date tomorrow. That's going to be weekly. I'm going to also set up my monthly master classes right? And I'm going to set up my boot camps 4 times a year, right? So that we can begin to reveal what we have been concealing, which has prohibited us from healing. Reveal what's concealed in order to heal. So let's go back to our question. Mm-hmm. Are you like me, tired of being broken and broke? And what, so what, now what? Is the spiritual student ready so the spiritual teachers can appear? I've been prepared. I know. I've been prepared. Trust me. And I love it. I love being me. Yes. Yes. But guess what? Obtaining my doctorate in biblical studies to learn more about the God who met me underneath that parked car, received my master's degree in 1997 on employee assistance program, how to help employees keep their job and get help for co-occurring disorders. My book, as it was written, My Journey from Crack to Christ. Yes, my motivational speaking engagements, my workshops that I've done. I am a model. I'm an actress. But let me tell you what my greatest gift has been. That is healing me from my brokenness and being broke. And that is of being a caregiver. Yes. Out of all the things that God has allowed me to be prepared for, He prepared me as a caregiver. Yes. I've taken care of 13 family members who have transitioned, some from hospice, some from other things. And guess what? Here recently, I have another, I'm going to say family member, Dr. Benjamin Twimby Brown. Yes, he's the reason why I'm sitting before you here today. Dr. Brown is downstairs in my den. Yes, and he is transitioning. Who would have ever thought that a prostitute, a drug addict, an alcoholic will be prepared to give care to someone who has worked in the vineyard for 70 something years, making the positive outshine the negative, teaching people how to be a host and video production workshop. Yes, yes, is my calling. And I love it. I have my niece here, Helen Sabrina Hall. She is 51 years old today. Happy birthday, Helen. Happy birthday, Rhoda Rooter. I'm also giving care to her. So you see, I am addressing my brokenness and being broke by utilizing spiritual resources and spiritual tools to become spiritually whole and spiritually wealthy. Dr. Sonia said, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, let a wealthy family come from you. I'll see y'all tomorrow if it's God's will. Be blessed. Be of service